This episode we're going to talk about filters, filter wrenches, and adapter plates, or step rings. So the basics of putting your filter on. You want to take your lens cap off, take your lens hood off, and to know what size filter you need, sometimes it's on the front, etched in, but usually it's on the side. But on this Tamron G2, it's kind of hard to see because it's gray on black. It looks like a little infinity circle. It says 82 millimeters. So then this means this specific lens gets an 82 millimeter lens. So then you have 82 millimeters. This is just a haze filter from Teflon, but it's really just a UV filter. It's nothing too fancy. Usually put on there if it's going to be going in places that has a lot of dirt, moisture, stuff blowing around, dust, just to protect the lens in case I drop it as well. Another thing you want to make sure is make sure your lens is clean. Always make sure you wipe it down. Whenever you go to put your filter on, you have to be careful that your threads are clean. You don't have any debris or dirt or anything in there. What I like to do is, whenever I'm putting the filter on, line up best you can and go backwards with it a little bit. It usually helps it line up the threads. And then just screw it on. It should go right on in the right way. If it doesn't, and you feel a little bit of tension, just back it off a little. Try it again. Hopefully it settles itself in there. This is one of the reasons why a lot of people go with square filters, because these circular ones are kind of a pain to get on there, and it just screws on all the way when you get lined up right. Don't ever force it. Number one, don't force it. You'll regret later. As you can see, filter's on there. It's got some fingerprints on it, but I'll wipe those off later. And once you get it on there, it shouldn't block your bayonets for putting your lens hood back on. Goes right on there. Most lenses, you can get your lens cover back on. Usually. Sometimes they don't like to stay on. Depends on the lens, really. But you should always be able to get your hood back on with your filter on. Some filters, you'll have problems getting the hood on with the filter. So, for instance, this other filter I got from K&F Concept, I like it. Some people complain about the X's that variable NDs can put on your image, but I haven't had that problem. You can see it's a lot thicker. The bezel's bigger. It sticks out on the edges. So if you get this put on, it sticks out over top of your bayonets for your hood. So if you try to put your hood on, you can't. It's kind of a pain, but I mean you have a variable ND on there, so hopefully it won't cause too much of an issue. And usually you're probably not shooting in a direct sun anyways, but if you do, even without the hood, I haven't really noticed too much of a deal, especially if you're using it on the darkest settings. Works pretty good. So let's say you have a really big lens. Let me put this away real quick. So let's say you have a really big lens. This is the 150 to 600 from Sigma, the Contemporary. As it says right here, this is a 95 millimeter thread. So you're going to need a 95 millimeter filter to go on the end of this. Take the hood off real quick. Take the cap off. So you have 95 millimeters diameter to put it on. So 95 millimeter filters are not cheap at all. So I have this 18 stop filter that I use for photographing the sun, solar eclipses, that kind of stuff. And it was originally about, I think it was like $250 whenever I bought it. And it's extremely dark. Like you can't see light through this. Let me get a good example real quick. So we've got the 18 stop filter here. I've got my phone with the flashlight. I don't even know if this will show up on the camera or not, but that's how dim 18 stops is. It's pretty ridiculous. So you can hold this filter up above your eye and look at the sun through it, and you won't, most likely wouldn't damage your eye, but I don't recommend that. Not gonna tell people to stare at the sun. Still not a good idea even with a filter. So anyways, put this on the front of your really big lens and try to line it up right. It's a little crooked. Should retry that. There we go. That feels better. So now if you wanted, you could take pictures of the sun, whatnot. So my biggest problem whenever I first got this specific filter, teaching you guys what my mistakes were so you don't make the same thing, same problem. I was photographing the sun for about 3 or 4 hours, and the lens got really warm, so it made the metal expand a tiny bit, and I could not get this filter off for as hard as I tried. Didn't matter what I did, wouldn't come off. I tried every trick in the book. I had rubber bands I put around it so I could grip it. I used those rubber mats you used to open like stuck jars. I tried everything imaginable. I put this thing in the freezer for 2 hours to try and contract the metal some so I could get the filter off. Still couldn't get it off. I was honestly freaking out. Then I discovered the world's best invention, this little plastic 50-cent thing I got off Amazon, a filter wrench. I was banking on this to get this off because for the whole week I was waiting on this. I couldn't use my 150 to 600 lens. So basically, pretty self-explanatory. It has ridges on the inside that grip the outside. There's also ridges on the filter. Just kind of put it around there like that, grip it and twist, and it'll come right off in 2 seconds. With these bigger filters, I highly recommend that you use these wrenches. Mostly because on the bigger filters, if you're squeezing on the sides, right, like right here, to try and get it off, you're putting so much tension on here, you're actually bulging out the sides this way a little bit, so it'll start gripping more on those threads, and it'll be really hard to get off, especially if it's out in the hot sun. So, just from my experience, always carry a wrench. They're super cheap, saves you a ton of aggravation. So, on to the step-up rings. So since this was such an expensive filter, I felt terrible because I wasn't able to use it all the time. And taking pictures of the sun when it's at the solar minimum this time of the decade, it's not good. It's pretty boring, bland. Everyone's seen 100 pictures of the sun. It's just like moon pictures. Everyone's seen them. Everyone's done them. So I was trying to find ways to use this to get more use out of it. So this is where the step rings come in. So this is my 24-70 G2, like I said earlier, from Tamron. I use this a lot for my landscapes. Even though I shoot on a crop body, I just stitch a lot of pictures together and get really big panoramas with it. Works great. But using the 95mm filter on this lens, obviously that does not attach. There's no way to put that on there to make it useful. So what you can do is go on Amazon, eBay, B&H, Adorama, KEH, other places that sell camera equipment. You might even be able to find them used. They're cheap anyways, but some people are on a real tight budget. Anyways, this is made by Cavision. Probably not pronouncing that right. It is a 95 to 82mm adapter ring, or a step-up ring, whatever you want to call it. And so basically, how this works is the smaller filters, smaller threads, go onto the lens you're adapting to, just like a filter. And this one is aluminum. They make brass ones that are more higher end, but aluminum's fine for most cases. You just line it up, get it to screw on there nice and easy, like a lid on a jar. Now you have 95mm threads. So you can take your really big filter, screw it onto there, and since it's metal on metal, it goes on real nice. Now you have a 18-stop solar filter on your landscape lens, so you can do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-minute exposures. Works great. And whenever you do those long exposures, obviously you're using a tripod and simple input, since I've messed this up many times. Turn your autofocus to manual, and turn your VCIS, OS, whatnot, turn that off so it's not fighting itself during a 5-minute exposure. And real quick, some cameras come with an iris, so you can shut the back viewfinder if you're on a DSLR. Always cover this if it doesn't have an iris on it to shut it. Just put your hat over it, put a handkerchief on top of it, something to block the light. You'll get crazy casting if you don't. But that's pretty much all you really need to know for the basics of filters. Every lens will tell you what size filter it takes. I just put this on there because it was on the camera I'm using right now. Let's see, yeah, on this Nikon 70-200, it says the infinite symbol. It says 77mm, so it takes a 77mm filter. I actually just ordered a step ring for this so that I can use my 82mm, my variable ND, on this lens. Try it out for video. We'll see how that works out. And this is my macro lens. Let's see here. Yeah, it says 62mm right here. Another quick tip, the filter size for this is also what size lens hood you need and what size lens cap you need. So if you ever lose your lens cap, like I did to this one already, just go online, look for a 62mm thread lens cap, and it'll be right there with you. I believe that's pretty much it. Oh, real quick, one more thing. Some people don't have the best eyes and can't see what filter thread you have. If you still have your box, it'll be right here on the box in multiple places. It's pretty much on every side. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, concerns, comments, leave it in the description. I appreciate that. And if you have any ideas for future how-to videos or tips or whatnot, please leave it down below. And thanks for watching.